In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis, as well as Robert Kiyosaki advises preparing for depression, as well as Mark Cuban blasts Gary Gensler. The SEC chairman says he has not protected a single crypto investor against fraud. We'll also be discussing crypto as a major election issue for 20% of the voters, according to a survey from the Digital Currency Group. I'm also going to be sharing with you a price prediction of $265,000 this year in 2024, as well as the latest from on-chain analyst Willy Woo. He predicts Bitcoin smashing $1 million and says it'll happen very easily. In fact, I'm also going to be sharing with you his mind-boggling $11.5 million Bitcoin price prediction. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. If you're new to the channel, very important to pump that subscribe button and pump the likes to help pump the stream. It helps out tremendously with the YouTube algo and is always greatly appreciated. Today is pod episode number 1637. It's a very special day. It's Mother's Day. So first and foremost, happy Mother's Day. It's May 12th, 2024. Let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. We got Bitcoin back in the green, baby. Trading at 61,500. A couple days ago, we tapped 60,000-ish. We were testing that as support, and we held, and now we're climbing back up. So let's see where this week takes us when the markets open Monday, the legacy markets, that is. We have Ether back under $3,000, pretty even for the day. Solana, XRP, Cardano, and AVAX all correcting and in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, we're sitting at a 2.26 trillion market cap with 35 billion in volume for the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance 53.4%, with the Ether dominance at 15.5%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past 24 hours, we have Core up 7.5%, Arweave up 5%, and Thorchain up almost 5%. Below that, very modest gains as the majority of the market is correcting and in the red as far as the alts are concerned. And checking out the crypto bubbles to get that visual perspective. Safe to say 90% of the market correcting and in the red, a handful in the green, including Monero up 2.5% today. Arweave up almost 5%. As we mentioned, Core, we have Rune and Pepe all in the green. And zooming out on the monthly to get more of a broader perspective, you can ultimately say Rec City for the alts. Maybe 90 to 95% of the alts have corrected pretty significantly. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're back in greed. Yesterday was a 53 neutral, last week a 69, and last month a 79 in extreme greed. Let's dive into a little Bitcoin technical analysis on the day. Headline reads, Bitcoin repeats the 2016 history perfectly amid 350,000 price prediction. Let's break this baby down. Bitcoin's replicating the same path as it did after the 2016 Bitcoin halving event, with one indicator signaling it may be nearing its local bottom and another indicating it could reach 350 G's, baby, during the peak of the cycle, according to the traders. Quoting Rec Capital here, Bitcoin has repeated the 2016 history perfectly, offering a downside wick below the bottom of its current reaccumulation range within a 3-week window right after the halving, basically indicating that the reaccumulation range at this point of the cycle is any price below 61,000, which Bitcoin is currently, well, now we're trading back above it, but at the time we weren't. And quoting Rec Capital here, Bitcoin repeated the 20, well, I just read that, so I'll just share the chart for those of you watching the stream. Furthermore, Rec highlighted Bitcoin is currently in the last pre-halving retrace stage, which once it passed back in 2016. How many of you were involved in Bitcoin in the year 2016 at that halving? Let me know. So yeah, it saw a 48% spike just 6 months later, as you can see here on December 30th to $973. Now, the price drawdown from the all-time high chart, which measures the decline of the Bitcoin peak to its lowest point over a specific time frame, suggests a much more ambitious price, according to the founder and investment manager of Cane Island Adventures, Timothy Peterson. He referenced the chart, estimating Bitcoin's current price may rise nearly sixfold by the beginning of 2025. Quoting him here, based on adoption and prior drawdowns, we can guesstimate that the peak value of this cycle would be between $175,000 and $350,000 within the next 6 months Send it. So based on history, we can say this bull market will end in January 2025. And here's the outline tweet in which he shared. Let me know if you agree or disagree with this bullish analysis. I think that'd be fantastic if we actually ended 2024 or began 2025 at 350,000. Let's freaking go. Now, they also emphasize the key zone by drawing parallels to a comparable formation seen after the approval of the 11 spot ETFs we saw on January 11th. And just a month later, its price rose 32% to 51,750 on February 25th. Quoting him again, support until it isn't. But the bulls need to put in some work. So where are you at, bulls? Now, another analyst, TA Trader Allen, he recently tweeted, Bitcoin bull flag is in play. Just zoom out on the daily chart. A bull flag is a cooking. Don't miss the op to accumulate your bags in the flag zone. Simple bull flat target of 120 G's. Baby. Now, 120,000 is 60,000 times 2. And speaking of 60 G's, baby.
60 G's, baby!
Exactly. Times that by 2, we right at 120,000. Let me know your thoughts and feedback on some of that. TA Holla. This article reads, Rich Dad advises preparing for a depression, referring to an economic depression here. He says, for years, I could see this crisis incoming. In fact, he has been predicting it for a very long time. He recently tweeted, depression next. I am planning on one. He said, do I want a depression? Question. Answer, no. Yet it is better to be preparing for the worst rather than to live in Disneyland, which most people are doing. Preach. He continued, depression can be the perfect time to get rich. Really rich if you're prepared for one. Stop living in Disneyland and prepare to get rich. Very rich. Please be prepared and take care. It's getting exciting. He also shared, for years, I could see this crisis coming, which is why I wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad. Own my business, use debt as money to buy cash flowing assets, such as rental properties, save real estate, real gold and silver, and today, Bitcoin. Now, also last week, he shared his crash survival rules. He cautioned that a crash has begun and it will be a bad one. He advised, don't save money. Fake money, which would be the US dollar, the euro, the yen, the peso, all fiat currency. It goes down in value. Save in gold, silver, Bitcoin, real money that goes up in value, especially in a market crash. Now, I believe he makes a good point. Those that save in fiat currency, what do we call those, folks?
You just shook up the world.
Oops.
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
And the point is, and I think he makes a good point, you don't save in fiat because you're guaranteed to lose purchasing power. You save in real assets, which are going to appreciate over time. He claims silver, gold, and Bitcoin. Personally, I think there is no second best. I think the only option here is Bitcoin. Gold and silver may maintain their value, but with the type of inflation we've been experiencing, is having gold up 5% really a big win when we have 20% annual inflation? That's the question I pose to you guys in the chat. Now, Bitcoin, it's going to do another 10 to 100x from here, in my humble opinion. I'm not saying that's happening this cycle, but over the next few cycles, I can see it. Easy peasy. I don't see that kind of appreciation from precious metals because they control the precious metal markets. They could introduce more to the market by, you know what I mean, investing into mining more gold or mining more silver. Bitcoin is the only asset class with a finite limited supply. It's the only ETF in human history, right? It's the only commodity, or whatever you want to call it, asset class with a finite limited supply. There's nothing else out there with true scarcity at the way Bitcoin has it. And for that reason alone is why we should be stacking them sats.
People that use fiat currency as a store of
If you're using fiat as a store of value, you know what we call them.
store of value. We call them poor. We call them poor.
Anyways, fam, next story of the day. Here's the latest with Mark Cuban calling out Mr. Gensler. Headline reads, Mark Cuban blasts Gary Gensler, says the SEC chair has not protected a single crypto investor against fraud. That's right. Mark Cuban is calling out the chairman of the SEC, No Claire Gare, and saying that the regulatory agency has yet to protect the single crypto investor against fraud. That's a very bold comment. He's basically saying not a single investor has been protected against fraud, ultimately meaning do your damn job, Gary. In a new message on X, the business magnate says SEC Chair Gensler's tough stance against the crypto industry may cost President Joe Biden the 2024 election. Quoting him here, if Joe Biden loses, and can I get a hashtag FJB family? There's a good chance you'll be able to thank Gary Gensler and the SEC. Crypto is a mainstay with younger and independent voters. Gensler has not protected a single investor against fraud. All he has done is make it nearly impossible for the legitimate crypto companies to operate, killing who knows how many businesses and ruining who knows how many entrepreneurs. Kudos to him for calling them out. Now, the Shark Tank star goes on to warn Congress that the crypto voters could be the deciding factor in the upcoming election and that the lawmakers should consider either creating clear digital asset guidelines or having the CFTC regulate crypto. Quoting him here, this is also a warning to Congress. Crypto voters will be heard this election. You can solve this problem for Biden by passing legislation that defines registration that is specific to the crypto industry, just as other industries have registration that is defined for them. Or you could do the better option and assign all crypto to be regulated by the CFTC. Now, Cuban also encourages Coinbase to publish a list of the political candidates they endorse and require them to commit to replacing Gensler. So I think everyone would agree. Everyone's sick of Gary Gensler, and everyone would say he's not doing his job. He's not providing any clarity. He's not protecting any investors. The SEC isn't doing their job. They're not protecting any investors. So why do we even have the SEC? To shake down the crypto industry, stifle innovation, and ultimately try to destroy crypto. I mean, it's clear. The writing is on the wall. FJB, 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 FJB. You want to know why? Because anyone who votes for JB,
they not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Anyone who likes Gensler and thinks the SEC is doing a fantastic job,
they not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
There you go. We're going to be discussing the election, which we all know is around the corner. This headline reads, crypto is a major election issue for 20% of the voters. 20%. That means 20 out of every 100 people, according to the survey issued by the Digital Currency Group. So here you go. Crypto is emerging as a hot topic in the U.S. presidential election this year, with many voters looking forward to hearing their candidates' takes on the crypto asset. As per the DCG survey of 1,200 registered voters conducted last month, 1 in 5 voters view crypto as a major issue for this election. Roughly 40% of the voters said they want their candidates to talk more about crypto, with most respondents agreeing that crypto regulation needed an overhaul. Hence why Trump just came out to get that crypto vote, as we covered, I think that was 2 days ago in the pod. The interest is, even though only 14% of voters say they have crypto exposure, and 69% said they don't even feel knowledgeable yet about the asset class. Most voters do not trust elected officials to understand innovative tech like crypto, and more than half are concerned about the policymakers stifling innovation via overregulation, aka Gary Gensler. Policymakers are currently in a partisan political deadlock over crypto. The Dems want strictly the industry rules to protect consumers like those in the existing banking cartels. By contrast, Republicans seek tailor-made regulations with a lighter touch to avoid driving the industry offshore. And as I mentioned earlier, we had Trump, who recently come out in support of the crypto industry, despite taking a hardline stance against Bitcoin in the past. Remember, a few years ago, he was asked, what are your thoughts on Bitcoin? He says he wasn't a fan. Paraphrasing him, I don't like Bitcoin because it undermines the value of the US dollar, and my job as president is to keep a strong US dollar. Well, now he's changed his stance. Clearly, he wants your vote. Republicans passed a resolution in Congress this week to nullify SAB 121, which is a piece of accounting guidance backed by the Democrat-led White House preventing the banks from providing crypto asset custody services. DCG survey mentioned 50% of the respondents said they'd be more likely to buy crypto if it was offered by an established regulated firm. The survey's respondents included voters in swing states, which include Michigan, Nevada, Ohio, Montana, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. Now, I want to know your thoughts, fam. How many of you will actually be participating in voting for the election this year? And if you don't mind sharing, who you're going to be voting for? Let me know. Next story of the day. Here's a bullish prediction of $265,000 this year in 2024. Then we'll dive into the latest from on-chain analyst Willy Woo, including a brand new prediction as well as an 11.5 million price prediction if something specific happens, which I'm going to be breaking down for you. So yeah, as you can see here, where shall we start? Yu from Crypto Quant, he tweeted, Bitcoin network fundamentals could support a market cap 3 times its current size compared to the last cyclical top, potentially sustaining a price of $265,000. He shared this tweet 4 days ago alongside the chart. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the bullishness. The graph he referenced illustrates the Bitcoin price alongside the market cap to hash rate ratio, indicating a significant improvement in network strength since the last peak. The data demonstrates a scenario where the price level remains constant with the hash rate, which has tripled while the hash rate triples, suggesting strong underlying stability and improved efficiency in the Bitcoin mining operations. This increase in hash rate at similar price levels points to a possibly undervalued market cap based on the network fundamentals alone, setting a theoretical foundation for substantial price growth. So here you go. By the end of this year, 2024, the total circulating supply of Bitcoin is projected to reach about 19,802,000 BTC, considering the daily addition of 450 BTC, which gets awarded to the miners. To hit the price target of $265,000 per Bitcoin, the required market cap is approximately $5.2 trillion. Now, at today's prices and in the market, I'd say the market cap of Bitcoin's probably, I'm guessing, 1.2 to 1.3 billion. So ultimately, he's saying we can 5x that market cap to 5.2 trillion, which would take us to $265,000 per coin. Let me know if you agree or disagree with this specific analysis from Crypto Quant. Crypto Quant also is predicting a supply shock within the next 6 to 12 months, meaning we run out of the Bitcoin on the exchanges. There's currently roughly 1.8 million Bitcoin available. Just FYI. So let me know your thoughts. Here's the latest from on-chain analyst Willy Woo, predicting Bitcoin hitting $1 million and it happening very easily. In fact, he even says Bitcoin could hit 11.5 million per coin, specifically if this happens. So let's break it down. Here's a brand new article right here. Willy Woo predicts $1 million in Bitcoin will happen very easily. Says multiple signals are now flashing bullish. This is a brand new article just published today off of some new insights from the on-chain analyst. But first, I want to give you a throwback. A few weeks ago, he made this prediction of 11.5 million per Bitcoin if this happens. It was actually December 23rd, so a few months ago. So I'm going to start here, and then we'll go to the latest. So he wrote here, a private banker asked me for some Bitcoin price scenarios. Here's some back of the envelope calculations using 2023 numbers. Bitcoin matches the gold market cap, 710,000 per Bitcoin. 5% of all the wealth is parked into Bitcoin, 1.1 million per Bitcoin. Now, also more recently, Cathie Wood, just FYI, said if 5% of all the wealth was parked into Bitcoin as far as the asset manager allocation, she's predicting 3.8 million per Bitcoin by 2030, just FYI. But he also says his upper price bound is 11.5 million, and that's what half of the wealth in the world in Bitcoin, meaning half the wealth is BTC. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that. But he continues, 5% of all the wealth being parked in Bitcoin is not that far away. There's only 600 million adults holding 100,000 plus net worth. They have 85% of all the wealth. Bitcoin has 300 million plus investors today and growing exponentially. And he continues to break this down. Here's the time taken to grow Bitcoin's user base by a factor of 10. We are in the 9th iteration, going from 100 million to 1 billion users at 10x. The 10th iteration will be the last, 100% global adoption. And you can see it took the Bitcoin network 8 days to go from 1 to 10 people. It took 8 days to go from 10 to 100. And again, these are all 10x multiples. To go from 100 to 1,000, it took 5.5 months. To go from 1,000 to 10,000 took a year. To go from 10,000 to 100,000 took a year. To go from 100,000 to a mil took 2.5 years. To go from 1 mil to 10 mil took 3.5 years. From 10 mil to 100 mil, 3 years. And he's guesstimating 100 million to a billion will happen in 2025, which would mean it takes 4.5 years. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that. And now for the latest, in which he just recently shared. Let's start with this tweet, which he shared 2 days ago on X. What a time to be alive. Bitcoin at 1 million will happen easily in the next 10 years. Follow on impacts will be long lasting. He says, Bitcoin becomes a reserve currency, a purge of central bank corruption. Wars become expensive. Younger leadership building for a future they will live in. And someone wrote, imagine believing any of this. And then he responded, imagine being under a fiat regime with history books documenting how it will come and pass and thinking Bitcoin is mass psychosis. So there you go. Powerful words from Willy Woo. He also wrote the single compares network flows into Bitcoin with price action. It likes capital inflows and it dislikes the risky price action, like increasing volatility. That was off of this. This is Bitcoin long time frame risk signal I've been working on. Scale in when the risk is low. Scale out when the risk is high. It is saying enjoy the dip while the consolidation lasts. This is not the top. It is simply an all-time high consolidation. So there you have it. And let's dive now into this article. According to the analyst, a 1 million Bitcoin price action will have enduring effects that would change the global landscape. And I read you his exact tweet. Also earlier in the month, Woo said that Bitcoin's fair value will soar to 1 million by 2035 just based on increasing global adoption. But for now, the analyst says that the on-chain indicators are flashing bullish for BTC. Woo first looks at the Bitcoin risk signal, which compares the network flows with the price action. The analyst previously noted that it's bullish for Bitcoin when the risk signal is low. Again, quoting him here, Bitcoin risk signal printed a lower high. This is nearly always bullish. And looking closer to the network flows, Woo says the metric is turning green, again, for the King Crypto, quoting him again. Early signs, if I squint just right, that flows into the Bitcoin network are picking up again. Probably needs another week to confirm this trend reversal properly. Lighter blue is the net flows from the US spot ETFs, as outlined right here in this chart. So let me know if you agree or disagree with Willy Woo's bullishness, including his $11 million price prediction. Holla at your boy. Now, personally, I think 5% allocation is a given. The $1 million question becomes, by what year? Do you think 5% of the wealth of the planet will be in Bitcoin? I think there's not even a doubt about it. But will it happen by 2030? Will it happen before 2030? Or will it happen by 2035? What are your thoughts? Let me know. I'm going to read your comments out loud. You know what I mean? Greg wrote, since inception, draw a Fibonacci channel. Bitcoin hits 2 fibs every halving bull run. First stop, the 1.14 at 350,000 and the 1.236, 2.8 million. Post halving, the 1.618 equals 1.1 billion. 8 years out, $1 billion biddy. Send it. It's going up forever, Laura. That's the bottom line. Doubles every year with more than 10x in 4.5 years. Bring it. I can't wait. So you already know Bitcoin is going to do what Bitcoin does best, which continue to go up and continue to be the apex predator and continue to eat away at all the other assets in the world, just like Pac-Man when he gets that pellet and starts chasing the ghost. Just like that. Bitcoin is Pac-Man, right? God has spoken, and she was merciful. Praise God. And again, happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers out there and to all the broskies. Don't forget to wish your mother a happy Mother's Day, this special day. We greatly appreciate that. So I think it is better to tell, according to 10 million people interested in even watching the awesome live. Thank you. Rephrase the way you say things, Siamano. I don't know. Intend the comment to be disrespectful, but they are. Don't stop commenting. Just rephrase. eCash is a fork of Bitcoin. Is that a new particular project? eCash? Fazio? Let me know. Bitcoin! Yeah, all the opinions are welcome. Just polite. Yes, respect one another is the golden rule. We appreciate that, of course. But here's one thing for sure.
Don't call it a comeback.
You know what I mean? We've been here for years, so don't call this a comeback. Yeah, we always welcome all opinions and comments. The only people that will get censored by the mods are those purposely disrespectful, because we like to respect one another here, and spam, which would be an example of copy pasting the same comment over and over, or just trolling. You know how we feel about trolls. In fact, we actually got a clip specifically dedicated to trolls. So as soon as a troll comes, they get whacked by the mods, and I play this clip.
That fuck 'em up. I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Facts. Knowledge pays the best interest. Tell them, oh no, JV's gonna dance. Sometimes it's in the blood. BlackRock can make it happen. They sit on the boards of the biggest companies of the world. They can convince them to invest 5%. Now, also, being you mentioned that, BlackRock published a study a couple of years ago, and it was recommending 85% allocation into Bitcoin. To be exact, it was 84.9%. So can I round up? 85% allocation recommended from a portfolio into Bitcoin, according to BlackRock. Now, if asset managers actually did that, good Lord, how many hundreds of millions of dollars is Bitcoin going to be worth? So a mere 5% is going to be a game changer. And you already know they're just going to continue to up that number because it's going to continue to perform and outperform anything else in comparison. That is an indicator. If JV actually dances out of the chair, it's known to be bullish signal, especially if combined with a nip signal.